It very much seems like Russia cheats at everything sports-related, Francis.
Aye.
Including the entirety of the national football team.
Aye.
According to a report from the Daily Mail. Which I know
you need to like wash your mouth out when you do it again. Take a sip.
A bad coffee.
Take a sip. It will disinfect your mouth. Feel better?
No. According to some reports, the entirety of the Russian international football team is being investigated by FIFA for doping and cheating. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise because last year the entire Paralympics team was found caught with doping. We have a headline from that one. That's element number 14. But first the reports. First the reports. We'll get to the quotes that we have for you. Our investigation has established that the Rio 23 and further 11 current professional footballers on a list of more than 1,000 people of interest drawn up by doping investigators. Is the first time that the cloud of suspicion covering the rest of the Russian sport has expanded its dark shadow over football too. And the revelation poses further questions about Russia's suitability to stage the tournament. And it continues to say, the best part is the end of the quote, which is the next. Further, it is also listed this is the first time that an entire football team has been investigated, let alone a national team. Hey, all of you, you're bad at hiding it.
You know what's good as well? It's like, I mean, what would make this worse is if like Russia were like hosting the world's biggest tournament next year or something like that. That would just make it so much worse.
Well, I mean, they need an advantage. I know that you immediately get to play, right? Like if you're the host country, like if, I don't know.
You don't need to qualify. I'm waiting for the day that Scotland can host the World Cup.
So you don't need to qualify, so you get your automatic bid, right?
Yeah.
And then they need like one more advantage. So like you should be hoping this works out because then like 2032, when Scotland does host it, you also get the juice.
Maybe it'll be legal by then.
Immediately.
Maybe everyone will be on the same playing field and the odds will once again forever not be in our favor.
Scotland. This is the Hunger Games. That's what I want to do with the interns. Yeah. It's the Hunger Games.
There's just like every day, you know that you could type in Donald Trump into the, I talked about this, you could type it into Google and you'll find a story. Like even if there's not a big controversial thing happening. You could do the same thing with Russia when it comes to their doping scandal. There is a severe problem. We have went into a great amount of depth, a lot more so than I would say a lot of other outlets in regards to both their Olympic committee as a whole and their ability to adjust certain procedures in order to allow people to participate. But Russia are always at the forefront of this sort of probe. So if you type in Russia probe, you're not going to get the Olympic Committee, you're not going to get the doping scandal. Of course, you're going to just be hit with everything else involving Russia and politics. But this is something that symbolizes, in a way, their disregard for rules and regulations in this retrospect when it comes to Olympics. But it also raises a red flag. How are they going to act when they're under the umbrella of FIFA, another organization that's very shady and has their ways of allowing you to bend the rules in their favor? Or is there money going under the table to allow them to go through this sort of procedure when it comes to the World Cup? And I know that sounds ridiculous. It's not like Russia, they can put in as many needles as they want. They're still going to get destroyed by Germany, but it's not going to stop them from at least trying.
Possibly Germany's B team.
Very much so, like what's going on in the Confederation Cup at the moment.
By the way, there was a report also that just came out actually like 30 minutes ago. Russia doping claims are made up news, says the World Cup organizer. That's the Paralympics from last year that they already got busted for. But it says that the football does not have a doping problem and claims to suggest otherwise are made up news, says 2018 World Cup chief Sorokin, which is interesting because when you're the World Cup organizer on behalf of Russia,
you're more likely going to defend Russia.
FIFA.
Yeah, it's like Sepp Blatter coming out in the defense of Gianni Infantino. You know,
it's like him defending the corruption in
him defending
like
the devil.
Olympics, being like, no, the IOC is not corrupt. I would know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like in regards to football. Of course, if you dope, you're going to be giving yourself somewhat of an advantage. But even like Russia's advantage already, in my opinion, is they're a very physical team. So you're almost just furthering the physicality of the sport. But it's not going to make up for the fact that you're lacking in quality in comparing to the other teams. I'm not trying to insult Russia. I'm trying to insult Putin's beloved Russian football teams. I know he pays a lot of attention towards the football team, especially in the World Cups and everything that's going on. So it would not surprise me if they were looking at ways to try and give themselves an advantage heading towards the World Cup. But this is alarming and people need to keep an eye on it. Because now it's crossing over to a sport that's again going to be in the forefront next year.
How many Olympic gold medals do you think have been forfeited by Russia because of doping?
If you got the number in front?
I do. They're the most.
I'm going to say...
It's not in like the hundreds, so don't go crazy.
I'm going to say like 62.
37, which is more than double the amount of second. Those in second. 37 tainted medals.
Did they have to give the medal back?
Triple the number of the second country. I mean, a lot of people sell them. A lot of people don't even actually, what am I talking about? A lot of Olympians don't even ever keep the medals.
Did they not get like taxed on it?
Yeah, you do get taxed, and you have to pay. It's like getting a Golden Globe or an Oscar. You have to pay for it.
I mean, yeah, in that field, there's actors more often than not probably making some decent money, so it's not bad. But we've talked about this before, how like Olympians train just for this one event. Like it doesn't exactly pay the bills every single week to go ahead and be a professional long jumper. And then you win a gold medal and then they're like, oh hey, you need to pay some taxes on that. Like this is not acceptable. You can't just work this hard for this one gold medal and I think you can keep it.
You're saying it doesn't pay to be a long jumper?
It doesn't pay weekly, I don't think. Unless you're like...
It pays every 4 yearly.
Unless you're like part of some long jump money making.
Comment below, like, favorite, and subscribe. Save you there, big guy.
Unless you're like in some sort of circus where you're trying to out jump like a kangaroo or something.